Did you ever feel like that burning stick pulled from the fire?
Yes. The things that would be seen, the acts that would be seen as my worst sins happened after I became a Christian. If you want to feel like a burnt stick, being taken out of the fire and being half burnt, try waking up in the ER after a suicide attempt, after a night of drinking and drugging. And I mean, that's probably the most shame I've ever felt. Came to consciousness in the ER, and like I said, it was like, man, I felt dirty. I felt like my garments were ripped and torn, and there was blood on them. Literally, there was blood on my garments. I guess
Wow.
I tore out the IV that they had, but and that was, I mean, that's just such a low point. And that's actually when God reached me again, was, that day in the psych ward waiting to be approved to go to classes. He took me, I said, God, like, I know you, you know me. We've talked. This way is not working. My way is not working. I really want to die. I'm tired of injustice. I'm tired of feeling like this. If you want me to be alive, you're going to have to show up. And that's when he showed up. It's that idea of turning to him, and he'll turn to you. That's the conversion. That's what happens when you're in your conversion, is you stand before God, Satan accuses you, and God says, no, that's not true.
He's mine.
He's mine. I died for him. But I think if we can consciously make a decision to see ourselves in this light, I think there will be a lot of freedom. And I'm talking to myself when I say that.
So we're going to get to the sixth vision he has that night, which is the vision of the flying book, or literally the flying scroll, because that's what books looked like back then.
Zechariah chapter 5. I looked again, and there before me was a flying scroll. He asked me, "What do you see?" I answered, "I see a flying scroll, 20 cubits long and 10 cubits wide."
This scroll is about 30 feet long and 15 feet wide.
Big scroll. Big. And he said to me, "This is the curse that is going out over the whole land. For according to what it says on one side, every thief will be banished. And according to what it says on the other, everyone who swears falsely will be banished. The Lord Almighty declares, I will send it out, and it will enter the house of the thief and the house of anyone who swears falsely by my name. It will remain in that house and destroy it completely, both its timbers and its stones." I think that could be Christians today, people who claim that they're Christians, and they swear falsely, and they rob people of, these prosperity gospel preachers that rob people literally of their money and their sanity.
That's interesting.
I don't think this just applies to someone who robs a bank, because I think God can reach that person, and
what's interesting, because both of the things being judged, stealing and lying, both have victims. And it's almost like God's not just looking to improve behavior, he's looking to rescue the victims. A lot of the televangelists, eventually that scroll of judgment wrecks their houses and exposes.
There's this thing, there's this idea going around. It's nothing new. It's been going on around for a long time, that like, if you're not healed, you have a lack of faith.
It's your fault.
It's your fault. I think you're not you're not trusting God enough. And I think that could be the people that put that shame on people can be them swearing falsely, using God's name to bring shame to somebody's life. You
don't measure up. That's why you're not getting blessed. And it's a double accusation. You're not blessed. You're not enough. And therefore God is not enough, because he won't do for you until you're enough, but you're not enough. So good luck with that.
Yeah. And there's only one word that comes to mind when I think about that way of teaching, and that's just abuse. It's total abuse.
Well, let's close by talking about justice. And it's funny because these visions come and God's speaking like crazy about restoration of his people. But then there's a reminder. It opens with this thing of here's how you've treated each other and why this happened. And then there's a reminder of you still got to walk in this, the very thing we're talking about. And I'm going to quote from chapter 7, verse 8. It says, the word of the Lord came again to Zechariah. This is what the Lord Almighty said. Administer true justice, show mercy and compassion to one another. Do not oppress the widow or the fatherless, the foreigner or the poor. Do not plot evil against each other.
The note I put in that section is, what does true justice look like today? And it looks like that. Are we truly showing mercy and compassion to one another when we get mad at them for not being healed and claim they have a lack of faith? Do we visit the widow, or do we just give her, thoughts and prayers and move on? Are we being there for the fatherless, or are we shaming them and shaming a community for having a lot of children who don't have fathers? What are we doing about that? Where's the mercy in that? Where's the grace in that? It's not there.
Yeah.
Or the foreigner, are we wanting to help refugees whose countries are torn apart? I'm not telling anybody that they should, believe differently than what they believe politically. I'm just saying, can we just try to find some common ground? Can we just focus on the gospel? And can a conservative invite a liberal into their home for dinner, or the other way around? Can a liberal invite a conservative in their home for a meal? And focus on what unifies us, and what unifies Christians is the good news of the gospel. That Jesus came and lived among us, and ultimately died for our sins.